You understand English. You watch English videos. You listen to English songs. You can understand what people are saying. But when someone suddenly asks you a question in English, you become silent. Your mind goes completely blank. You know the words. You know the grammar. You understand the sentence. But somehow, you cannot speak. And then you start thinking, why can I understand English, but I can't speak it? Maybe you think your English is bad. Maybe you think you need to learn more grammar. Maybe you think you need to memorize thousands of words. Welcome to English Mastery Hub. This is a place where we learn English, build confidence, and become better speakers, one step at a time. Here, we don't believe that you need perfect English to start speaking. We believe that you can improve. With simple English, daily practice, and confidence. So, if you understand English but still struggle to speak it, you are in the right place. Because today, we are going to understand exactly why this happens. And more importantly, how you can finally start speaking English with confidence on your own. Let's begin. Reason 1. You learn English passively. The first reason you understand English but cannot speak it is passive learning. You listen, you watch, you read, and you understand. But understanding is not the same as speaking. Imagine going to the gym and only watching other people exercise. You can understand every exercise. You can watch someone lift weights. But watching them will not make your muscles stronger. Speaking English works the same way. When you only listen to English, your listening skill improves. When you only read English, your reading skill improves. But speaking requires practice. You must open your mouth. You must create sentences. You must make mistakes. And you must continue. So if you understand English but cannot speak it, don't feel hopeless. Maybe you simply need more active speaking practice. Your brain knows English but cannot find words quickly. Have you ever experienced this? Someone asks you, "What did you do yesterday?" And suddenly, you know the answer. You know the words, but you cannot say them quickly. You think, "Yesterday, and then you become nervous. The words are actually inside your brain, but they are not easily available. This is called active vocabulary. You may understand the word exhausted when you hear it. You know that it means very tired. But when you want to speak, you only say, "I am very tired." And that is completely okay. But to speak naturally, you need to practice using words, not just recognizing them. Don't only ask, "What does this word mean?" Also ask, "How can I use this word in my own sentence?" That small change can make a huge difference. Another big reason you cannot speak English is that you translate every sentence in your head. You think in your own language. Then you translate it into English. Then you check the grammar. Then you worry if the sentence is correct. And by the time you are ready to speak, the conversation has already moved on. For example, someone asks, "What do you think about this movie?" Your brain starts, "What do you think? How do I say this? Is my grammar correct? Should I use I think or I feel?" And suddenly, you say nothing. The goal is not to translate every word. The goal is to create simple English thoughts directly. Start small. Instead of thinking in long sentences, think, "I am hungry. I need water. I am tired. I want to go home." Simple English thoughts will slowly become natural English speaking. You do not need to suddenly start thinking in complicated English. Start with your daily life. When you wake up, think, "I need to get up." When you make tea, think, "I am making tea." When you go outside, think, "The weather is nice today." When you feel tired, think, "I need some rest." You are training your brain to connect your thoughts directly to English. No translation, no dictionary, no pressure. Just simple thoughts. And remember, you don't need perfect English to think in English. You only need simple English. Because fluency does not begin with complicated words. Fluency begins with small thoughts repeated every day. Now let's talk about one of the biggest problems: fear. You are afraid of making mistakes. You are afraid someone will laugh. You are afraid someone will correct you. You are afraid people will think, "Her English is not good." So you stay quiet. You know the answer, but you don't say it. You have something to say, but you keep it inside. And slowly, you start believing, "Maybe I can't speak English." But the truth is, you cannot improve a skill that you are afraid to practice. Every fluent English speaker made mistakes once. Every confident speaker was nervous once. The difference is, they continued speaking. They did not wait to become perfect. Think about a child learning to walk. The child falls. But nobody says, "You are terrible at walking." The child simply tries again, and again, and again. But when adults learn English, they make one mistake and immediately think, "I am bad at English." Why? Why do we expect ourselves to be perfect at something we are still learning? Your mistakes are not proof that you are failing. Your mistakes are proof that you are practicing. So the next time you make a mistake, don't say, "My English is terrible." Say, "I found something I can improve." That mindset can completely change your journey. Grammar is important, but grammar alone will not make you a fluent speaker. Many learners spend years studying grammar. They know every rule. They know the difference between tenses. They can complete grammar exercises perfectly. But when someone says, "Tell me about yourself," they suddenly freeze. Why? Because speaking is not a grammar test. Speaking is communication. You do not need perfect grammar to express a simple idea. You can say, I went to the market yesterday. Even if you make a small mistake, people can still understand you. The goal is not to speak perfectly from day one. The goal is to speak clearly and improve gradually. One of the best ways to improve speaking is to learn phrases. Don't only learn the word agree. Learn, I completely agree with you. Don't only learn understand. Learn, I understand what you mean. Don't only learn think. Learn, let me think about it. When you learn complete phrases, your brain doesn't need to create every sentence from zero. You already have ready-made language. This makes speaking faster. For example, instead of thinking, how do I start my opinion? You can simply say, in my opinion, or I personally think, or to be honest. These phrases give you time and make your English sound more natural. Many English learners wait until they can create the perfect sentence. But conversations do not wait for perfection. Sometimes, you need to speak with the English you already know. If you don't know a complicated word, use a simple word. If you don't know the perfect sentence, use a basic sentence. For example, instead of saying, I was extremely exhausted due to my hectic schedule, you can simply say, I was very tired because I was busy. That is perfectly understandable. Simple English is still English. Motivational tone. You don't need to sound like a native speaker. You need to communicate your ideas. And with practice, your simple English will slowly become. Now let's create a simple daily routine. You only need 15 minutes. For the first 5 minutes, speak about your day. Say, I woke up at. Today, I need to. I feel. For the next 5 minutes, choose one topic. For example, my favorite food, my weekend, my future goals. Speak about it. Don't stop every time you make a mistake. Just continue. And for the last 5 minutes, listen to a short English clip. Pause it. And repeat what you hear. This is called shadowing. You listen, and then imitate the speaker, their pronunciation, their rhythm, their pauses. Do this every day. And your brain will slowly become faster at speaking English. You don't need an English-speaking friend to start speaking English. You can speak to yourself. You can record your voice. You can describe what you see. You can answer imaginary questions. For example, what did you do today? What are your plans for tomorrow? What is your favorite movie? Answer these questions out loud. At first, it may feel strange. You may feel silly. But slowly, your brain will become comfortable with your own English voice. And that is important. Because many people are not afraid of English. They are afraid of hearing themselves speak English. So record yourself. Listen to yourself. And don't judge yourself. You are not listening to perfection. You are listening to progress. Many people say, I will speak English when I become confident. But confidence doesn't come first. Practice comes first. Then, confidence comes later. You speak one sentence, then another. You make mistakes. You learn. You try again. And slowly, your fear becomes smaller. Your voice becomes stronger. Your sentences become faster. And one day, you suddenly realize, I am speaking English without thinking about every word. That moment will come. But you cannot reach that moment if you keep waiting for confidence. You don't need confidence to start. You need to start to build confidence. Please don't compare your English with someone else's English. Maybe someone has been learning for 10 years. Maybe they have lived in an English-speaking country. Maybe they speak English every day. And you are just beginning. Your journey is different. You don't need to speak like them today. You only need to become better than the person you were yesterday. Yesterday, maybe you couldn't say one sentence. Today, maybe you can say 2. That is progress. Don't ignore your small improvements. One sentence can become a conversation. One conversation can become confidence. And confidence can change the way you see yourself. So, if you understand English but cannot speak it confidently, remember these 4 things. First, understanding English and speaking English are different skills. Second, stop translating every sentence in your head. Learn complete phrases and use them. Third, do not wait for perfect English. Mistakes are a normal part of learning. And finally, practice speaking every single day. Even 1 minute can make a difference. You do not need to become fluent overnight. You do not need to speak perfectly. You just need to keep showing up. Because one day,
you will answer a question in English and you will realize you did not translate. You did not panic. You simply spoke. And that moment will remind you you were improving all along. Thank you for watching English Mastery Hub. If this video helped you, subscribe to the channel for more English speaking lessons, confidence tips, and practical English practice. And remember, you already know more English than you think. Now, it is time to start using it. See you in the next video.